Right, everyone, welcome back to the Elbis and Elbis World Class Podcast. I'm joined here with Elbis.
Alright, Paul.
Well, not bad anyway, and I went to go see that new Batman the other night. I thought it was brilliant. Have you seen it?
As a child in the 80s, there was no more satisfying sound than hearing the clack of the letterbox on a Saturday morning. Knowing I could then escape to the wondrous worlds of Marvel and DC. Then came the 90s. The comic book heroes I admired so much were brought to life on the big screen before me. Yet here I sit in the modern age, looking back at countless remakes and continuous loops of the same origin stories, which have now seemingly reached greater importance than the biblical parables of old. It's clear to me now that such trashy transhumanist tales serve no further purpose than to remove any nuance from the motivations of man, instilling an unquestioning binary view of good and evil into the unsuspecting audience, thus allowing the Luciferian manipulated media to point their crooked claw at whomever they deem to be the next hero or villain, according to whichever poisonous plot they plan to produce.
You sound a bit like the Incredible Sulk.
What's going on with Elbis? Elbis.
Well, that was what's going on. Oh no, did I say that? Oh yeah, well, yeah, it's Elbis and Elbis, and we're back and all.
We're back again, fans, especially for the fans as well.
Yes, as always. Don't forget Elbis and Elbis. Giving
Under heavy request.
You sit down, pal. You
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's my new thing. I
Please.
sort of stand up now. Well, it's been a while since you've been here, pal.
Well.
This is now a standing studio, let's just say. This
I
kid
prefer
here,
the
he
old-fashioned
doesn't know what's going on.
way, a couple of old-fashioned
Yeah,
world-class
yeah,
chairs.
yeah.
We can sit down and properly address the fans if you don't mind.
Yes.
Don't forget, I've been away at Manchester. I can become more professional than anyone.
Do you want me to tell him how you got
Let's
home or
just
not?
say, get
We'll leave that to
started.
them. He could only get 40 miles an hour, he didn't have enough money. He didn't have enough money to make it all the way back. And his granddad came to
He's
pick
been
him
trying to
up.
book a Premier Inn for 29 quid so he can come see me. And that's facts.
I've got the penthouse pre-booked in the Hilton. Thank
Monkey
you.
will also confirm.
Anyway,
how you been anyway, pal?
well, not too bad actually.
Yeah,
Well, actually, exceptional, as you might
fantastic.
recognise from the state
Wow,
of the recording studio.
Well,
The equipment
look,
has
that's
been upgraded once again,
Well.
and if you just take a quick peek into Soupy's side panel, you'll
Well, I
see
don't usually like looking, to be
improvements
honest,
that have
pal,
been
'cause
made.
it disgusts
If
me
you see
in
what
ways
I'm
I
saying.
cannot describe.
Mind you, I tell you what, I ain't done much with elder Jukes.
Well, I am looking at... Hey,
Oh,
come
hang
on.
on, what was that?
Oh, my God. Oh, I think it was a receipt.
Never did that before.
Well, I must say about Jukes, he's got a nice looking spatula.
The titanium spatch is holding up and it just does not
Yes.
stain.
No.
Believe me, I have tried to stain
Stainless-
it and it just
It's
will
a
not.
sexy stainless spatch.
A sexy stainless steel spatch sticking sexually something.
Anyway, what are we doing? Oh, yeah. Well, to be honest, pal, this is one thing we've got to address, and it's the amount of astral...
Requests.
Yes, that we've
Yeah,
had.
yeah,
And it's like, you know, we hadn't done this for like 3 months and all that. And all the fans are like, oh God, Elbis, come back, please. And it's like, yeah, don't, you know, like buggers and all that. We'll come back when we want Frank.
Well, we've had some bitches slagging us off, haven't
Oh
they?
my God.
But anyway, I don't know whether to talk about those or...
Well,
not.
I'm a bit sick of them, to be honest.
Yeah,
And to be honest,
yeah.
it feels like if Elbis and Elbis spoke about them
Let's
today,
address them later,
Yeah,
shall we?
I feel like we'd be bringing the podcast down.
Yeah.
And, we could
And if you are listening, you
maybe
Bilgecast
open some
people,
films that they have.
we will address you, but keep listening and you might learn a thing or two on your journey.
Well spoken, pal.
Anyway.
Well, is it time for Dream Over?
I think it probably is.
Well, you better
actually.
say you're up joking then, pal.
Well,
You're not
hang on
doing
a
much
minute.
at the moment, are you? You know. Oh, yes. Go on, Jukes.
No,
Oh, yes.
this.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Don't you wonder sometimes?
It's a dream already gone. Oh god. Well, jingle there, yes, more class every week.
It was a wild one, I think, this week. I think since you moved away, pal,
I'll be honest with you, pal, my vocal
I think we have been vocally distuned.
Well, usually we have a vocal arrangement. Now, if they're going to be a copyright compliment with that performance, let's just say...
You sounded really out of tune there, though. I hope you haven't been doing Dream Our Vision.
No. What's been going on?
The thing is,
we should tell the
and our
fans.
world-class lawyers shall be in touch if you are going nicking it.
Anyway, we should tell the fans really we was on the lash till about 8 o'clock this morning.
Well, fans, we were supposed to be recording last night.
Yes, we was.
But the party was too...
And there was too many...
Party-ness, let's just say.
Let's just say I had a few.
It just went crazy.
There was a few BRTWs there, let's just say.
You could call it a celebrity appearance.
Well,
and Elbis and Elbis was in such high demand that our attention did not allow us to sit down and record this epi. But we thought, do you know what? We're going to get up this morning and we're going to do it. And do you know how we've done it? Mainly for you fans.
Yes, a big grateful you.
In some ways.
I'm sick of you. Anyway, do you want to go fog?
Well, it's been quite a long time since our last DRV,
Yes.
let's just say.
Yes.
And there has been so much going on in the astral. But
it's interesting.
And so it's difficult for me to pick one, but I think I have a prominent prediction. Preferably performed
with a plum.
Well spoken, pal.
Thanks, pal.
So would you want to go fog or do you want to go
Interesting one, I
fog?
think.
Well, do you want to go fog?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on then, you can go fog.
Well, and this is a dream of a genre that if some of the hardcore fans who listen to all the poddies will sort of relate to a little bit because we've spoken about this topic before. Now,
come on.
I don't want to keep going on about it, so I'll just get
good.
straight
Well,
into the hardcore facts if you don't mind.
Bloody hell.
Get stuff. Anyway, so
What
happened?
two words.
Oh, here we go.
Come on, hurry up.
Anyway, so I went into the astral realm and I woke with a plot.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was like, oh god, what's going on here? And what I remember is I was like, I was at a party with a load of mates, right?
Astral mates or?
Well, there was a couple of astral there, but there was also a couple of physical mates.
And was there
there
any
as well.
physical or astral? Well, you see what I'm saying.
Wow. Anyway, but this
was it an astral?
Yes, but I know in the physical realm, so I'm not going to go, I know
was
her a bit too well.
she?
Well, I probably shouldn't because she's a good friend. But anyway, and she's a professional friend as well. Anyway, so...
Do I know this physical or?
No.
Oh, well.
Anyway,
Good job.
what happened was,
Anyway, come on.
Oh, she'd be running.
Come on, hurry up. Anyway,
yeah, sorry.
This has been
Anyway, so she comes over and she goes... She goes,
come on.
hang on, I'm just trying to think. She says, Elbis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? She's like, you know what? You're so loyal, aren't you?
Well.
And I went,
I'm not sure about that after what you
stuffed.
did. Yeah, go
She's
on.
like, you're so loyal, aren't you?
Go
And
on,
I went,
go on.
well,
Fans know what you did, moving
and then
away.
yeah, but get this, pal. This is the interesting bit.
Go on. Obviously, it's a dream so far because you are not loyal. Go on.
Just listen.
Go on.
Control yourself. She said, you're so loyal. You're like a bloody pup. You're like a dog.
Well.
And I thought,
I have heard you
that's
call
really
a
interesting.
dog
Get
before.
stuffed.
Yeah.
Dogs, you've
Hounds.
seen you with a few
Anyway,
dogs
go on.
last night.
Yeah, no.
Well, anyway, hang on.
Anyway,
hang on.
that's the difference.
Hang on. Anyway, you're missing the point.
All
She said
right.
you're like a dog,
Yeah.
and she kept saying it. You're like a loyal puppy. You're like a dog. And I woke up and I thought that was really interesting. Because I thought, hang on a minute. She kept calling me a dog. What did that mean? What did that mean?
God.
Now, I want you to cast your mind back, pal, when you was trying to commit suicide via a marshy bog.
I do.
And you was
remember that.
sinking.
A dark
You was
time
sinking.
in my life. Yes.
Now.
Yes.
And you was sinking, weren't you, in the marshy
Yeah,
bog?
I was,
and
yeah,
this
that's
dog
true.
came.
And
you
saved the
knew
day.
the physical dog.
Interesting.
But you only knew the dog because of its eyes.
Very interesting.
Now, what if that dog who appeared to you, now think about this, fans, with all
Very
the dark
interesting,
entities in the astral realm, with all the evil that's there.
Yeah.
Don't forget, if Elbis and Elvis appeared in the same place at the same time, and both appeared as they was,
Now this is interesting.
the Dark Lords would just be straight on us. It's too dangerous for us to do that. So how would I appear to you and save the day? By being a dog. Think about that.
By being a lichen who could transmogrify themselves into another form of animalism, would be the perfect disguise.
And that's
I
putting
see
it
what
simply,
you're saying here,
fans.
pal.
That's putting it
So it's
simply.
almost like a side way around the doppelganger effect.
So you
if
think
I
about
see
this,
you
think
in
about
the
this.
realm.
Because we never see each other, do we?
No,
But
never,
you always
never.
see a dog.
Fanz.
You always see a dog who
I
like,
do often.
looks like
Yeah.
but you can never like tell who that
Well,
dog is,
sometimes
can you?
it's a physical dog that I
Use.
currently know.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a physical dog I used to know.
Yes.
And sometimes it's an astral dog I've never known. And so
And
what
that's
I'm
probably
saying
me,
is
that,
that
isn't it?
possibly the astral dog that I've never
Never
known
known.
could be you,
Elbis, the
disguising
impetuous.
yourself
Yes.
so that you can circumvent the
Yes,
doppelganger
yes,
rule.
yes.
Interesting.
And it makes so much sense.
Now,
Because
this
don't
is
forget,
interesting.
all this problem we've had with doppelgangers and all that, pal.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
if I wanted to communicate with you in the realm or
Yes,
save you
what
from
would
a
be the easiest way to
situation,
do it, yeah.
it's a great way to do it. Because you know that this is no doppelganger, this is Elbis the impetuous.
Well, you see, if you walked, if a let's just say a being in the realm walked up to me that was big, gangly, and weird looking
Yes.
like you, and said something to me, I'd be like, "That's not Elbis."
I probably won't
That's
waste
a
my time on your
doppelganger.
pal because I'll be
That's
too
a
busy.
doppelganger. But
Getting
you're
off
right.
with some astral
Now,
planes.
if you came up,
entities, come on.
if an astral mutt came up to
Sorry,
me,
Fanz.
whether it was one I currently know, whether it was one I physically knew, or whether it was one I astrally never knew, I would listen to that mutt.
Well,
Interesting, that pal.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is
Now I
interesting,
think
yeah.
you'll find that I've got an interesting one as well.
I don't
Well, it is interesting.
Go on.
And if you know what I'm saying,
Go
it is
on.
also interesting.
Oh, wow.
Well, for me, I found myself somewhat blinkered in the realm recently, and I've not been to the classic realm for quite some time. And I don't know if it's like we were speaking about before, where you almost go through school years and you have more ability each year that you do it. But I'm not sure you've learned to fly yet, have you?
Oh, yeah, I learned to fly. Yeah.
Have you really?
Well,
done,
it's not flying in the
Never
sense
knew
that
you had
it's
your wings.
flying, but it's like
brown wings,
I
even.
can.
Anyway, in any case, but you do learn like a new lesson every year. And recently, I was transported to the realm, and I found myself in a new sort of section of it, and it was somewhere that it felt familiar in some ways. It was sort of Middle Eastern, if you see what I'm saying.
Right.
Now I have been around all the Middle East and all that because of my business, international mobility, and I went all around the Middle East. But this was a place that felt Middle Eastern, but I hadn't been there before, so it was a Middle Eastern realm. Anyway, I was there and I was with my family, and included in that family was my mother, physical mother, my physical mother. There was Crazy V, and there was my Skin and Blister.
Wow.
Anyhow, my Skin and Blister, she was like, "Oh, I'm going to go out and get tea." And I was like, "Yeah, well, why don't you just leave it to me? Because I know what I'm doing. I was Astral MasterChef Champion 2021.
Come on, pal.
Anyway, she gave me a phone,
God.
a Astral portable phone, and it had a recipe. Get off that! It had like a recipe card. Idiot. It had like a recipe card on it, a really attractive recipe card. So anyway,
yes.
I goes into this Astral Middle Eastern supermarket.
Was there any?
And it was, well, hang on a minute, if you don't mind.
Oh, wow.
There's some of that coming up, pal.
Oh, wow.
Believe me. Anyway, I went into the Astral supermarket and I said to the bloke, "Oh, can I have this, this, and this?" And he couldn't understand me, so he was speaking a different Astral language.
Interesting.
I don't know whether it was our normal
Was
Astral
it
tongue or a Middle Eastern
Eastern
Astral tongue.
language,
Or it
or-
could have just been English and not English. Do you know what I mean? I'm not
Interesting.
sure.
So it could have been astral language.
In
quite
some ways
possibly.
it could have been. I'm not sure what
That's
language
interesting,
it
but come on,
was.
pal.
But anyway, there was like a table there, you know, like a table at school. So I went and sat down at the table and I started to... I thought, if I can draw what's on this recipe card that my sister gave me and show it to him, he'd be able to get me the ingredients that I need. Anyway, I started drawing it out and there was all beautiful pictures and I was doing that. Anyway, it's very attractive. Middle Eastern.
Oh.
Entity.
Wow.
came and sat down beside
You
me.
don't speak to a lot of entities.
She was like saying to me, "Oh, how are you doing?" and all this, and I was like, "Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Yeah, I'm just doing this at the moment,
She
drawing
was
this thing out."
probably looking at you.
And she goes to me, this is what she goes. She goes, "Oh, you into films?"
So you
and that?"
probably
And I was
thought
like,
the same.
yeah. And she goes, "Oh, my favourite film is Last Tango in Paris, starring Marlon Brando." And I was like, "Oh yeah, well, I've heard it's a good film and all this." And anyway, I was drawing this thing, and as I was drawing
So you
this
probably
thing,
thought this.
then I thought, do you know what? I'm going to save myself loads of time here. I'm not going to draw the full thing with all the pictures. I'm just going to write the ingredients down.
Oh, wow.
I wrote the ingredients down, give them to the Middle Eastern shop assistant.
Come on, pal.
He read it. I'm doing it.
Go on.
He read it, and then he looked at it, gave me a bag of groceries, and I walked out. And I was walking back to the astral flat that we was living in with my astral family.
Oh, yes.
And I got halfway home and I thought, hang on a minute. The Last Tango in Paris? That's when Marlon Brando got the butter and shoved over the beds. And I thought, she was inviting something there.
Oh my god.
And I thought, whoa, what a missed opportunity that was.
Oh god.
And do you know what it was? It's like, I thought it was an astral message.
Butter up the...
Yes.
Up the...
Oh, apparently so.
Up the...
Yes.
So,
Well, let's just say an orifice was lubricated to his satisfaction.
well,
And in some ways, if the entity says to you, "Would you like to come and watch that film around my place?"
Well,
you know that you have a reasonable chance
yes,
of greasing
yes,
something up. And in any case, so I thought to myself, "Oh God." Anyway, what it is, I've been having these massive meetings with these huge companies. And the thing is, they're all interested in the technology that goes behind the supercomputer.
Well.
Businesses can see the benefit. And I thought to myself, do you know what this vision, I think it's a vision, a straight up vision. I think what it's saying to me is, don't get too caught up in the detail, look at the big picture, and you might get some reward.
Interesting, and I think there's a message there for all fans listening as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're listening to that and you're thinking, oh god, this could relate to me, in some ways with my,
Probably not as much as it
terrible
does to me, because you don't have massive meetings like what I do, and you
well, the
invented
thing is, a
something
lot of
like
these
the
people who
supercomputer.
listen,
But,
normal people. You know what I mean? Who don't
You
really
could
have much
probably
going on.
find somewhere.
But,
to a point,
if it makes you feel special or something, then, well done. And
Anyway,
all that.
pal, so,
Anyway, go on, put a jingle. I'm
Good
sick
on
of
that,
this.
wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was good. All right.
Try and be in tune. Don't you wonder sometimes if it's a dream or a vision?
Well, that was Dream or Vision.
Listen, fans.
Interesting one for me, that.
It was very interesting. And if the flow of the episode is somewhat discombobulated, if your fans are thinking that, it's because somebody here had to go for a dark closet.
you
And it's
are
been 15 or
just
20 minutes since
you
the last
are so
segment.
desperate.
Now,
Honestly.
at his little
That cloud's
puggy
tail
flat
of
that he
fans.
lives
What
in
can I
with
say?
these kids,
Honestly.
he doesn't go, he goes like a
Jesus.
mouse, and then he comes here and he lays something like a horse, blocking the pipes in the studio.
You disgusting.
Anyway,
well, at least
pal.
I do it in the toilet rather than you throwing it in a bucket and throwing it on the street.
That's only happened a couple of times.
Get stuff.
That's
You
what happened.
disgust me.
Anyway,
Yeah, defecation
let's go on
pit in the
about
garden
something
as well.
anyway.
God,
So
you
anyway,
are
good dream or vision. I think
Yeah,
it
it
was a
was
solid
alright,
one, an
yeah,
interesting one, and it's more difficult for us now because there's such long periods between us chatting about these things. So it's difficult for us to get a consistent narrative, but I believe we at least highlight the important points.
But we do, and that's what it's all about. It's you've got to get the important points
Yes,
out
yes,
there,
yes.
just so the fans can have something to eat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
It's like having a.
Yeah.
You know what? The Elbis fans, it's like having a starving family, and you've just
Yes.
got to get the. You just
We
gotta get
should
the
maybe
food on the
start
table.
up some sort of a website or something whereby the fans can post their astral things. Now we can't do it. quite so
Well, give them
often.
a chance on Twitter. Did anyone reply?
Well, that's right. Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, ignorant
yeah.
bastard.
Well, there were private,
Anyway.
not our fans. However, it was nice to see some of them come out in force.
I understand,
When
I understand.
someone was slagging us off.
Listen,
the other week.
listen, I put a tweet out and no one, really bought it. And I understand that.
Well,
because
listen, pal.
it got a load of likes, but everyone is private about their own dream or visions. However, if you check the emails, bloody hell, we had hundreds coming through, and we can't check them all, so don't,
Yeah, but what I'm on about is the other week when some bilge Bilgecast slagged us off. The overly sociable poddy on, what did we call it? Shocking Radio, Shock Radio in Salford or whatever. Now, they slagged us off, didn't they?
What?
And
I can't remember.
I didn't even know about it. We got an email from one of our super fans to alert us to the problem.
I was having Chippy with the Grandmaster and Doobs.
Monkey's Mother Doob.
Yeah, Monkey. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden the fax machine went off.
Yeah.
And I saw, oh God, and Doobie was like, well, Elbis, this must be for you, because you don't get any faxes. So I went away and I got the fax, and lo and behold, it was from Elbis the Wise, and he was alerting me about some certain bilges that had said a few words about Elbis and Elbis.
Is, these bilgers that did that actually dared to even start to slag us off. I mean, I'm not even going to go into what they said. However, it's like I don't think they expected the backlash that they got. They didn't expect the Elbis army to penetrate every depth of society, which they do. And it's like they just posted something. We didn't even know they listened to such bilge.
No.
But yeah, it's a bit like that film, innit? Fight Club, where it's like you could be being served by a waiter, and yet he's a member of the Elbis and Elbis army.
And the thing is, you just don't know who is it an Elbis a part of the Elbis army. The thing is, it's like, well, I mean, I've seen a couple of comments, just as I've been, looking on YouTube and all that, and let's just say the Elbis army wiped the floor with the ugly bilges, and it's like Elbis and Elbis don't really need to say much because you fans have said it for us in a way.
Yeah, now
and anyway, I respect the fans for that. However, don't get to.
No, there's no need to stick up for us fans. We do appreciate it.
We'll sort our own business out, but we appreciate it. But what I will say is, and I won't go to say much about them, but what I will say is, there's one thing that they don't know.
Yeah.
And I think Elbis the Wise knows what I'm on about here. It's that, well, we've actually employed someone.
Yes.
And he is deep in the ranks of their filthy organisation. He's that deep in the ranks that we're dishing out the dirt.
We're getting all the info.
We're getting all the info about these punks.
And we know a few things.
Oh,
we know a few things.
Let's just say, two words, fans. Viral infection. Where does that come from? Because it's certainly not from away.
I don't know where he got that from.
Jesus.
But he's been dipping his week in something Luciferian.
We can't speak. Oh, God.
Anyway, we've heard that he is disgustingly infected. One of the buildings.
Riddled, riddled.
And
I've had one of them. God, one of them's like wants to leave or something. I
heard that.
One of them's out of the way on the door.
And at least one or two of them have gone.
They are the scum of the earth.
And this is
bottom of the barrel, fans.
This is why, fans.
This is why you don't need to bother talking to these bilges.
It's because they can't stand the pressure. And the pressure's
crumbling.
building up. And I tell you what, bilgers, if you're listening to this, we'll do you a deal because they can't stand the pressure. They want to be left alone.
Listen, one of them wants to leave. One of them's been virally infected.
Now, what all we have to do is and I think we should get a statement done and we'll pass it through our legal team, the Elbis and Elbis legal squad, we like to call them.
Everything we do,
It'll be something along the lines of, all you have to do is on your crappy poddy, just say something like, we acknowledge that Elbis and Elbis are the undisputed kings of podcasting, and we humbly submit to your service, masters. Something along those lines.
I don't think that's too much.
We'll call the Elbis and Elbis army off. Rodney Duck and the boys, they'll be on back. And and then that'll be it.
You've been let in a way. You've been let off the hook, and there's not much damage been done. So just before this gets ugly, Bilge boys, what I'd say to you is listen to Elbis the Wise, listen to Elbis the Wise, and listen to Elbis and Elbis, and maybe think about calling this off because now it's getting ugly.
I'd either do that, lads, or I'd just call it a day.
Don't forget, fans, Elbis the Disciple, who we've just spoke about, the
he gets
spy within their ranks, he's only just going to carry on dishing out the dirt, and the more he does that, the more Elbis and Elbis have to humiliate.
And we're thinking, aren't we, that when I die in a few years, maybe Elbis the Disciple, he can wait for a spot on this body.
He's been proving himself recently, but I don't think he's that good yet.
Well, I've only got 5 or 6 years left.
I need someone.
But he'll learn by then.
I'm looking at the clock on the wall, the giant clock, and it looks like it's time for the fan favourite feature. Play the jingle, pal.
Hey, don't know where it is.
Oh God, hang on. Oh wow.
It's the Elbis and Elbis.
Oh. L-B-O-T-W.
I love this feature.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you what, fans, as much as Elbis and Elbis don't like each other, there's one thing that, one thing we can agree on, it's that this feature is the highlight of life.
However, I must say that I feel somewhat ill-prepared in some ways.
I know what you mean, pal.
And what it is I've been having these high-powered meetings with all the biggest companies in the world. And I haven't had a lot of time to find the BOTW. However, I don't know whether I have got one, but I don't know whether you want to go fog or if you want me to go fog. Because I
probably looks similar to give the
I have a
Bill's
new
infection.
outlook on BOTW, and where I am now picking a entity of the week.
Right.
I have looked back on my Luciferian past.
You have been quite Luciferian.
I have,
must
and
be
I'm
said.
ashamed.
Yeah.
Because
as someone
I've
who
seen-
is anti-Luciferian, you completely just got.
Let's just say, pal, all I ever look at is TNA. Well, now I've decided that I'm going to substitute a bit of TNA for an F. And you know what an F is? Functionality.
Wow.
Because I'm thinking that I'm going to get myself a entity of the week who is reasonable up top, satisfactory down south, and yet can do some jobs as well.
Sounds like a decent blend.
Well, it's a controversial choice. So shall I just go fog?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah. Have you got to prepare? Oh, yeah. Tell us about it first. Tell us about it.
Well, it is a controversial choice because this is neither a blonde,
Oh my god.
nor a brunette.
What?
It's a ginger.
Wow.
Now, fans,
Hang on.
let it never be said that
Hang on a
Mr.
minute.
Wise is not inclusive because
Wow.
he has included a ginger
Yeah.
or a redhead in this.
No, but Elvis, we accommodate everyone. We've always said it.
Well, as you know, I was crowned Astral Master Chef 2021.
Yeah, the bloody
and I
Black
was
Institute.
looking through my
Jesus.
culinary journals.
Oh my god.
And I found a little dish of the day, let's just say.
Wow.
And, well, I'll tell you what, she's got a lovely face.
Wow.
She has reasonable assets, up, top, and down.
The
below.
frying pans are
Yes,
well
yes.
greased.
yes.
Let's just
But she's more of a cook, and I'll tell you what else she is, an outdoorstress.
Oh my
Now,
god.
if you remember, I am quite the camper.
Well, you do love
I do.
camp, yeah.
I do enjoy travelling into the wilderness
Yes,
with
you are quite camp.
with a man and erecting mighty structures
Yes.
in which we spend the evening.
Yes.
And I think that this would be a perfect bed.
Whoever the Bill's boy is, who's got the infection,
Yes, no,
this man can, this
Well,
man, he can.
I do know some natural cures actually. But anyway, yeah, this
Well.
bear entity, I think she'd be great to take out in the wilderness where there was no one around, and I think that she could forage for hours, if you see what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
She'd be scraping around, finding some stuff, and I'd be sat there going, "Oh yes,
Sounds like
have a look at that, love."
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
But in any case, I'll give you a name, shall I? Oh, well, I have got a prepared puncher if you want this.
Yeah, go on, yeah. Just give
Anyway.
it. Oh, what's the name?
It's Little. Oh,
Hang on.
well, I don't really know what a real name is, but that doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah.
Little Red Heidi Hood.
Little Red.
Yeah, Heidi Hood. Like the hang on.
Hang on.
Just insert this. Right. Now put it
There
in,
you go.
pal. So can you remember the command?
It's
P
P-Run.
run. Register.
A.
A. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh wow. Oh, yeah, she could cook me up some soup. If you see what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow! Well, she's got a really pretty face, hasn't she?
Yes, she has, but
She
she's
really
also got
does.
a-
She does have a. But you see what I mean about her being a redhead? It's not.
She's got a
Ooh, look at that fish!
Wow.
Wow! What an attractive trout!
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Honestly, look at that one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow! But do you see what I mean? It's not the most spectacular rat,
She
but it's certainly.
Isn't, I've got
It's
to
not
say,
Luciferian in
I've
the
got to say
slightest,
she's
is it?
not Luciferian.
And you see
at
what I'm
all,
saying now,
actually.
pal? It's like I have turned over and you left.
Yeah, she's like a
It's,
natural
Yeah,
babe.
yeah. And she's not the most red-headed redhead,
Oh.
but she is still a redhead.
Hey.
And so it's inclusive, yet interesting.
She'd be capture of the day.
I'll let her reel me in.
Oh, wow.
Whoa,
Oh,
look at that
wow.
one. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Do you know? Oh, wow. Do you know what, pal? I wasn't expecting you to like this one.
You know what?
I think you're into it.
And I've got to say it now, as you know,
this is a strong contender.
And it's like fair play to Elbis for looking at.
Well, this is it. I always like to pick an outsider.
Why not look at the Ginners?
Always pick an outsider.
What have they done wrong?
And the thing is, she's not Luciferian. I mean, sure enough, you get these ones who are massive. And huge, and but do you know what I mean? I thought I'd go for one of these, and in the long run, you're probably better off with one like that than you are going with one of them other ones. You know, who's been chemically enhanced. You know, at least she's natural. Yeah. Anyway, I hope she wins.
Well, I hope she doesn't win. Oh yeah. Well, sorry, I've got mine. Haven't I? Well, mine. Hang on, mate. Just get the pre-prepared punch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, you don't need to do it yet. Tell me all about it.
Yes.
Tell me all about
My
this wondrous
W.
entity that you have.
Now, I feel like, in a way, pal, I've cheated a little bit.
You've gone Luciferian, haven't you?
No. Listen. I ain't gone Luciferian or anything, but what I've done is I've found a...
Do we have a Luciferian ban?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know if she's Luciferian or not, really.
We have seen some spectacular Luciferians.
Yeah, she could be all natural.
We could. I'll tell you what, fans, if you know a entity who is a Luciferian and needs some rehabilitation,
it could be...
Send us a picture.
It could be a mother, it could be a sister, and it could be the girl next door. Who knows?
It could
but, send it, we'll have a look. Anyway, what was that about? Oh, yeah. So, this entity, she is actually a wrestler.
Oh, wow.
Now,
is she the type I would enjoy placing a figure four? Is she? Well,
let's just say...
I'd let her put me in a front face. I'll tell you what, I haven't even seen it. Anyway, go on, pal. Who's this?
Submission.
I hope she's not one of them big belly ones, though.
No, come on, pal. Have a bit of faith. Anyway,
I'd never go out with a girl who was musclier than
I'm pretty sure she's Australian.
Oh, wow, I might know what you mean.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna... Well, so I just put the pre-prepared punch in, because what not?
Yeah, go on, pal.
It's an Australian wrestler.
I think I know who it's going to be.
Hang on a minute.
I think I do. She's... Come on.
Hang on.
Oh, no, it's not what I thought. Oh, hang on. Right, so what is her name?
It's Liv Morgan.
Oh, my God. Right, do you know what? You might as well go for bloody Madonna.
Oh,
we're supposed to be doing undiscovered entities here.
I just saw
her. She's
her.
proper famous.
No, but she's not that good.
Oh, God. I'll tell you what, pal.
She's not one of the best in the world.
Listen, I'm going for an unknown entity.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I like the way she has multiple colour hair, but...
bath shots or something.
Yeah. But, to be fair, we're trying to be uncovering
unknown
entities here.
Wow.
And you're doing...
Oh,
yes. Wow, she's very full, girl.
Oh, wow.
She's very flexible, isn't she? Give me a stink face.
You probably let me do it and give you one.
Well, get stuck. I'll tell you what.
But I'll tell you what, God.
But yeah, no, I'm very poor show from you, this.
Oh, come on, pal.
No, she's famous.
No, I know.
She's famous.
I know. But the thing is, Elbis and Elbis that need to use in their status a bit more. It's like the fans know that.
Maybe so. I suppose we are.
We never do. We never say we're celebrities or anything like that. We just get on with life as any other person would.
We are more famous than
and it's time that we use our status for the good. And it's like this, Liv Morgan. No, I'm pretty sure she would love to meet Elbis and Elbis. And that wouldn't be.
Well, I'll tell you what, pal. Shall we do the? We'll do the thing.
I'll tell you what.
Wow. Now, fans, what the keen eared have noticed is, and we have had some comments about this. What people have noticed is that we put the wrong command in last time. Well, what I would respond is that I have installed an ambiguity chip into Soupy, and it can interpret commands that we were supposed to put in, but we sort of put in a bit wrong. So this time, pal, hey, never mind looking, come on. You need to put in now p-print AB. P-print AB. Hang on. P-print AB. And then that'll compare the registers, fans.
Yeah, that's the registers.
And ultimately, and I tell you what, old Soups here does definitely know who the best entity
I tell you what,
because Liv, she's too famous.
Get stuffed.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Listen, famous.
Here we go. Hang on. Press return. Yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
I think it's doing something.
No, it's going.
Oh,
Oh yes.
Bit rusty.
Yeah, it is. Well, it hasn't been used much, has it?
Oh, wow.
Yes. Oh, yes, here we go. The thing is, though, pal, you can't go doing Bods.
No, but
Everybody's heard of.
The thing is,
You know what I mean?
it's like,
We're supposed to be uncovering new ones for the fans here.
Yeah, but
The fans come to us to know about these entities.
Listen, this gives them a reason to watch wrestling. All I'm doing, I'm helping the company.
Anyway.
Vince McMahon, he said to me, to Elbis, and the festival.
Oh,
God, what's that? Someone's just threw a kite through the window.
Anyway, the thing is, we go for the unknown ones here, and I think that Soupy is going to appreciate this. But,
Look, I'm sick of it.
look,
You just slag man. Whatever it was going to be. You don't even give her a chance. It's just
I can tell you I've put any research into this.
Listen, you pride yourself. Oh, look at me. I picked it, Gina. I picked it, Gina. Well, you're just going against my dog because she's an Australian, and I'm sick of you. Just because
I didn't know she was Australian.
actually, I'm not sure she is anymore.
I'll tell you what,
She might not be.
I
I don't know. I'll take her to the outback.
I'll be right out back of
Oh, man, going to the next shack. Oh, wow.
I like to see her one back.
You disgusting.
Oh,
You're disgusting.
But yes.
Oh, hang on a minute, pal. One sec. Oh, yes. Yes.
Let's have a look then, pal.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, do you know
Come on.
what? Good.
Oh,
Because
that's
Soupy
good.
picks the unknown.
Oh,
And
Soupy,
if you're
let me
listening,
down.
Little Red, Heidi Hood, whatever you're called, the thing is, it's like, well
You
done.
two.
You are an unknown
you
entity.
congratulate Soupy. And this is what I mean, fans.
Listen,
Everyone's like, oh,
listen.
Mr. Wise, he wins
Congratulations.
PLCW.
You just beat Liv
Listen,
Morgan.
the thing is,
You've beaten Liv Morgan. This is what happens
He
on
builds
Elvis
these
and Elvis
supercomputers, and
podcast.
God knows what he does to them. He's a cheat.
Anyway.
But
So we're no winners or losers on this
no,
show.
we've always said, have we?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it don't really matter because
Two
there is
great
no winners.
bands,
There is no winners. It's
but-
just two great entities. We're getting the airtime from those. And the thing is, you've done the Gino one, Ed Favour, and I've done this
Big
Australian vibe. I've done her a favour as well, and Vince McMahon, I've done him a favour, and we are personal friends.
And the thing is, it's like, if either of these two bear entities want to send us an email, then you know the address. What is it?
It's Elbis and Elbis. Oh, God, I forgot it. Oh, it's Elbis and Elbis work. That's email@gmail.com.
Yes, and if anybody else wants to send us an email, who is an attractive female entity?
Feel free.
Oh, God, yeah. And anyway, that we've been going on about them Bilgecast. I found a new potty. But we'll talk about that next time, shall we?
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, well, the Underpants podcast we were talking about before. Anyway, let's get back to the fans on that.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that. Anyway, I think it's been interesting episode this
I suppose.
But, you know,
Probably better than the
Elbis and
fans
Elbis-
have heard in a while.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely better than what them Bilge boys are doing. But, you know what? It might be not one of the best. This could be the last one ever. We don't know. But the thing is...
Every time could be.
Yeah, it could be, and that's it. That's the beauty of Elbis and Elbis. But just be thankful we're here. Don't be ungrateful, you gets.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been Elbis and Elbis. You've been world class.
What's going on? With Elvis? Ah, Elvis.